नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते राधानाथ स्वामिन्निति नामिने। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामिन्निति नामिने। नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादि पश्चात्य देशतारिणे। ओम ज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुर्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूप कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम्। वन्देहं श्रीगुरु श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सकगण रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवम् साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजन सहितं कृष्ण चैतन्य देवं श्री राधा कृष्ण पादान् सकगण ललिता श्री विशाखान्वितांश्च। हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधो जगत्पदे गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमोस्तुते। तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसूते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यैव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभो नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौरभक्त वृंदा। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। ईश्वरा परम कृष्णा सच्चिदानंद विग्रह अनादिरादिर गोविंदा सर्व कारण कारणम। Hare Krishna. By Lord Sri Krishna's causeless mercy, we are nicely studying Bhagavad Gita every day, at least 6 days a week. So we are in the 11th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. We finished 4 slokas in the 11th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. The universal form, that is Viswarupa. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, he has his Manusa Rupa, like the human form, that is his original form. And then also he has got his Devarupa with his four-handed Vishnu form. And he also has got his universal form. So that is Viswarupa. So Viswarupa. So Krishna, in the 10th chapter, Arjuna asked Krishna to explain about his opulence, and Krishna explained everything. And Krishna also told Arjuna that my opulence is unlimited, and whatever I have told you is just a fragment of my energy. That's it. So with a fragment of my energy, I can pervade this entire universe. That's what Krishna says. We know that by science, energy can neither be created nor be destroyed, and mass can neither be created nor be destroyed. And we know that very well. So similarly, the soul can neither be created nor be destroyed. That is also science. So we are that soul. So we are not the body, we are the soul. The soul can neither be created nor be destroyed. Same like mass, energy, momentum, everything, which is all the law of conservation of mass, energy, momentum, all such things in the science we studied. So like that, the soul is a science. That's what we need to understand. So it is very easy to understand if we take it that way, if we understand it that way. The soul can neither be created nor be destroyed. We are that soul. But the soul has to live permanently in Krishna's abode without having to go through all kinds of sufferings what we have in this material world. So that part only we are understanding from Bhagavad Gita very clearly. Krishna is teaching us the way to go to him. The way we should get rid of this material world, get out of this material world. We need to escape from this material world. So here we are designing rockets to or spaceships to go to the space and go to, even we have plans, go to different planets and all such things. But we have to, with this material body going anywhere is going to be a problem. Wherever we go, we are going to die. We are not going to solve the problem of birth, old age, disease and death. That's what we need to understand. So we need to go, our soul should go to Krishna's place, which is out of this material world, that is spiritual world. So that is the only solution for all our problems. So if we do that, by Krishna's causeless mercy, if we are able to escape from this material world, and if we are able to reach Krishna's abode, so then that is called our real freedom, real independence, and real enjoyment, unlimited enjoyment, happiness, permanent life, everything we are going to get in Krishna's place. In order to gain that, we need to give up this material world, because it is not possible for us to get both. Because this material world is a place for suffering, so it is a dukkhalayam, and while if we have attachment to the material sense objects, then it is not possible for us to go to Krishna's well. It is not possible, because we need to give up all attachments completely in this material way. Completely. Then only we will be able to go to Krishna's way. So that is the only requirement. That is the only requirement we need to meet to go to Krishna's abode. What is the only requirement? That means not having any attachment to anything in this material way. And how we can prove that we don't have any attachment to anything in this material world? If we are not at all disturbed in mind. If we have attachment, then if we have attachments, then we will be disturbed. The results will bother us. The results will disturb us. So if our mind is steady all the time, yata deepo nivatasto nengate sopama smrita yogino yata chittasya yunjato yogam atmanaha. A lamp in a windless place does not waver. Yatha, how means how. Yatha deepo nivatasto. Yatha deepo nivatasto. A lamp in a windless place, how it is not wavering. Similarly, tata. So yatha deepo nivatasto nengate sopamas prata yogino yatha chittasya yunjato yogam atmana. So we need to engage controlling our mind and focus our mind on Krishna. So our mind should be all the time, should be completely concentrated towards Krishna, focusing on Krishna. Our mind should not be wavering at all. Like when there is a wind, the lamp will be going this way, that way, all such things. It is not going to be steady. So if that happens, if that's what is happening to our mind, we just have to compare. Krishna is giving very nice, excellent examples, excellent analogies for us to understand this science. So if our mind attains that kind of status of not getting disturbed by anything in this world, then we will be able to go to Krishna's way. Yamhi na vyadayanti ete purusham purushar sama dukkha sukham dhiram somritatvaya kalpata. For one who is not at all disturbed, na vyadayanti ete, and one who is equal, samam, sama, sukha, dukkha, dhiram. So, sama, dukkha, sukham, dhiram. So, in distress and happiness, and distress, if one is equal, so then he is eligible for liberation. So, that way we are eligible for liberation only when we are able to achieve that equanimity, and that is going to be possible only with the knowledge of Bhagavad Gita. Because we need to free ourselves from the dvandva, the dualities. Nirasihi yatha chittatma tyakta sarva parigrahaga sariram kevalam karma kurvannapnoti kilvisham. In order to achieve that status, we should not have any desires in this material world at all. We should not have any desires. We should give up all desires. Tyakta sarva parigraha. That's what all desires. Nirasihi yata chittatma tyakta sarva parigraha. Vihaya kamanya sarvan pumams charati nisprikaha. Nisprikaha means the desireless state. So we need to give up all desires in this material world. Prajahati yada kaman sarvan partha manogatan atmanyevatmano tustaga stita prajnaga tatochyate. Prajahati. Prajahati means give up. Prajahati yada kaman sarvan partha manogatan, which are due to mental concoctions. So one who is able to give up all varieties of desires for sense gratification. So if you are able to give up all these desires, then one should be just happy with what we have, what Krishna is giving us. Because Krishna is going to give us what we want or what we need. That is the main thing. We want only Krishna. We don't want anyone else. We don't want anything else. Our only desire is only Krishna. But our needs, Krishna will give it to us. So that way, if we focus our mind only on Krishna, desiring only Krishna, then be happy with what we get. We don't have to worry. Krishna is going to give us what we need. We don't have to worry about that at all. So, yadirchalabha santushto dvandvatito vimatsaraga samaga siddhau asiddhau cha kritvapi nanibhadyate. So yadircha labha santushto. So whatever labha, whatever we gain, we get it. We should be happy. Dvandva atito vimatsaraga. So dvandva atito. So we should be free from the dualities and free from envy. That's it. Dvandva atito vimatsaraga. So then be equal in both success and failure. Samaga siddhav asiddhav. So kritva api na nibhadyate. So if we act, we are not going to be bound by the results of our activities. So that way, with the knowledge of Bhagavad Gita, we are not ignorant anymore. With the knowledge of Bhagavad Gita, we are not fools anymore. We are not fools any longer. We don't want to stand as fools in front of Krishna. Krishna very clearly says in Bhagavad Gita that Vimudas, those who don't follow my instructions, they are fools. That's what Krishna is saying there. Those who don't follow Krishna's injunctions, Krishna's instructions, Yetvetat abhyasu yantho nanutistanti me matam sarvajnana vimudam stan viddhinastan achetasaka. So due to enviousness, if anyone who is not following my instructions, then they are bereft of all knowledge. Sarvajnana vimudatman viddhinashtan achetasaka. So they are fools, vimudams. Vimudams means fools. So we should not be fools in front of Krishna. Just by gaining the knowledge of Bhagavad Gita, understanding this Bhagavad Gita fully, which is easiest thing for us to do. Very easy to understand Bhagavad Gita. It is not at all difficult. Because Krishna is teaching us so using very easy to use, very simple language. And Krishna is giving all the meanings, all the understanding, knowledge what we want. Even though it is the most confidential knowledge, even though it is Raja Guhyam, the most confidential knowledge, but Krishna gives what we want. Everything Krishna is giving, very easy to understand. So that way, if we just get this knowledge completely, fully, and if we are not ignorant anymore, and just use this knowledge and surrender unto Krishna and control our mind by focusing our mind on Krishna, by giving up all attachments to the results of activities, by giving up every attachment in this material world, we are ready to go. We are ready to go to Krishna's well. We are ready to go to our own place. We don't have to come back here and struggle and suffer in this material world. This law of birth and death, it works only here. What is the law of birth and death? Jatasya ki dhruvo mrityugu. So when we are born, we are sure to die again. We are sure to die. And when we die, we are sure to born again. Dhruvam janma mrityasya. But if we are born in Krishna's well, then we are not going to die anymore. So that means our life is going to be permanent. That means we don't have to get into this material body. That is the main thing. Because being inside this material body and going through all these sufferings, everything, Our body has got nervous system, and there are pain receptors in our body everywhere. So in the skin, all kinds of receptors are there, like temperature receptors are there, heat receptors are there, pain receptors are there, heat and cold. So Krishna is saying that one should be like heat and cold, like Sitoshna, Sukha Dukkha. So Sitoshna, Sita means it is cold, and Ushna means it is hot. So Sitoshna, Sukha Dukkha. So hot and cold. So all these things, our receptors are there in our body, in our skins. In our skins, those receptors are there. They are sensing everything. That's why we are feeling, if it is cold, we are getting very cool, like cold, and our body is trying to adjust it, and it's shivering, and it's creating energy in our body to make sure our body temperature doesn't go down. If our body temperature goes down, it's a problem. Similarly, when it's very hot, then we are sweating, and that way our body is cooling itself. So that way, all these mechanisms are there in our body, and this body is going through all problems. So if the pain receptor, similarly, if it pains somewhere, it's going through the nerves, it's going through our brain, and we are feeling it. We are feeling it, and we are struggling, we are suffering. All those things are happening in this material body. So the soul should not get this material body again and again and suffer. And it's not at all fun for us to die all the time, taking birth and dying and again death. So that way, we should be intelligent. We should have the knowledge. We should not be fools. We should not be ignorant. And we should have the knowledge of this Bhagavad Gita. Only with the knowledge of Bhagavad Gita, we can act smart. That's what is very important. All others, if they don't have the knowledge of Bhagavad Gita, if they don't know that they are the soul, not the body, they are the souls. So we need to understand, we need to realize this body is temporary, this body is miserable, this body brings all kinds of problems to our life. So if we have that knowledge, if we simply fix our mind on Krishna, focus our intelligence on Krishna, and do everything for Krishna with the knowledge of this Bhagavad Gita, we will be able to transcend the three modes of material nature. So the ultimate goal is to free ourselves from the modes of nature, and that is possible only by surrendering unto Krishna with love and devotion and rendering devotional service unto Krishna. That's what. So surrender unto Krishna with love and devotion and render devotional service unto Krishna, then we are freed from the three modes of material nature. We are no longer forced. We will no longer be forced by the three modes of nature. That's what this Bhagavad Gita is about. Krishna is teaching us, you do everything for me. Mayi sarvani karmani sannyasyadyatma chetasa nirasir nirmamo bhutva yuddhasva vigatachvara. So you surrender all your works unto me and do everything for me. That's it. We need to do everything for Krishna. That's it. That's what is very important. We think that when we go to work, we are working for someone. No, we are actually working for Krishna. Everything, we think that something is owned by, if there is such and such company and they own this much, all such things. No, nobody wants anything. Nobody wants Wall Street. Nobody wants any company, nothing. Everything is owned by Krishna. So that way we need to feel that when we go and work, actually we are working for Krishna, because Krishna only wants everything. No shareholders own anything, nothing. Everybody is going to lose everything. When they die, all the shares, everything they and their name will go to someone else. So, but it is always permanently with Krishna. We need to understand that we are actually working for Krishna. So that way, our knowledge with Bhagavad Gita knowledge, we will be able to feel Krishna all the time, and we will be able to do everything for Krishna. And Krishna will give us even more and more opportunities to please him, to serve him, especially by spreading this message, this Bhagavad Gita, and make many devotees. That's what is very important. So by making many devotees, we are actually saving them from this ocean of material miseries. This material world is full of miseries. It's the ocean of material miseries. Samsara Sagaram. So that's what Krishna is saying, that Mrityu Samsara Sagara. So, but we can say only those who have faith on this Bhagavad Gita. That part is very clear. We understand very clearly from this Bhagavad Gita that we can only go and give this knowledge to those who are ready to listen to this. Those who are not envious of Krishna. But there are many devotees. There are thousands and thousands of devotees are there. They are waiting to receive this knowledge. We need to go, find out, identify, and share this knowledge. So that is the only service which pleases Krishna so much. So That way, we will become very, very closer to Krishna. We will become dearer to Krishna to the extent Krishna is saying in Bhagavad Gita that no one else can become dearer to me than someone who gives this knowledge to others. That's the very important thing. So that way, we have got the great opportunity to study Bhagavad Gita and give this knowledge. So now, in the 10th chapter, we studied about the Vibhuti Yoga, and now Arjuna is actually asking Krishna to show his universal form. So that's what we are studying in the last two slokas. Arjuna said that in the sloka number 3, Yevam yetatyada tattvam atmanam parameshvara drashtumichami te rupam aisvaram purushottama. O Parameshwara, whatever you have spoken just now, whatever your opulence you have explained to me right now, Yevam yetat yada tattvam Atmanam Parameswara. Drashtumichami te rupam aiswaram purushottama. Oh Purushottama, I want to see that form, your universal form. That's what Drashtumichami te rupam aiswaram purushottama. Then in the sloka what we studied yesterday, in the 4th sloka, in the 11th chapter, Arjuna told Krishna that Manyase yadi tachakyam maya drashtum iti prabho Yogeswara tato me tvam darshayatmanam avyayam. O Krishna, if you think, manyase yadi tachakyam maya drashtam iti prabhu, O Prabhu, if you think I am able to see your Viswarupa, your universal form, Sakya means able to. So if you think that manyase yadi tachakyam maya drashtum, I can see it. If you think that I am able to see your universal form, then please show it. Manyase yadi tachakyam maya drashtum iti prabhu. Then you please show it. Darsayatmanam avyam. Yogeswara tato me tvam darsayatmanam avyam. O Yogeswara, you please show your universal form to me. That's what Arjuna told. Now in the next sloka, the sloka number 5 in the 11th chapter, now Krishna started. In this 11th chapter, Krishna speaks and then Arjuna speaks. So in fact, Arjuna is after the first chapter. In this 11th chapter, Arjuna speaks more slokas actually, more than actually what Krishna speaks in the 11th chapter. All other chapters, when Arjuna asks 1 or 2 questions in one sloka, then Krishna answers in 30, 40 or 50, 60 slokas. Krishna answers actually Arjuna's question. But here, Arjuna is going to ask Krishna, Arjuna has already asked Krishna to show his universal form, and when Krishna shows his universal form, Arjuna is going to explain what he sees in the universal form. So that way we are going to get that knowledge. We are as if we are able to directly see this universal form. So Krishna is saying that in the next sloka number 5, Krishna is saying that Sri Bhagavan Vacha Pasya me partha rupani satosta sahasra saha nana vidani divyani nana varna krutini cha. Pasya me partha rupani. O Partha, behold, you see my universal form. I'm showing it to you. Satosta sahasra saga. Satosta means sata means 100 and sahasra means 1000. So thousands, basically 1000. Sata means 100. Sahasra means 1000. So hundreds and thousands. So that's why hundreds of thousands. So hundreds of thousands of. That's what satosta sahasra saga. Hundreds of thousands of nana vidani divyani. Nana vidani means many varieties, variegated, many. Nana vidani divyani, divine manifestations, divine. And nana varna kritinicha. Varna means colors. So many divine forms and divine and multicolored forms. That's what nana vidani divyani, nana varna kritinicha. So that's what Krishna's Viswarupa is going to look like. But of course, we are going to understand in detail about Krishna's Viswarupa. So Arjuna is asked, and Krishna is already immediately. Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, he may be the Supreme Person. He is the controller of all the worlds. Sarvaloka Maheswaram. And he pervades this entire universe. But in front of devotees who love him so much, Krishna is just a servant. That's it. Krishna is the servant of his devotee. Here Arjuna asks and Krishna is immediately showing it. So that way, the Supreme Personality of Godhead said, see Bhagavan Vacham, Parthame, Pasyame Partha Rupani. O Partha, you look at my universal form, I'm showing it to you, and with hundreds of thousands of divine and multicolored forms, varied multicolored, divine and multicolored forms. So now Krishna is going to say in few more slokas, couple more slokas, Krishna will actually continue this. And then Arjuna again is going to explain more about Krishna's Viswarupa. So every day we are going to get this knowledge, and this knowledge we cannot get anywhere else, only in Bhagavad Gita. So by Krishna's causeless mercy, we have successfully finished the sloka number 5 in the 11th chapter. Hare Krishna. I'll stop now and we'll discuss if any questions are there. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Guruji. Thank you very much. Aparna Kalyani, you can talk with Guruji.